I scored a 95% mark just by studying before exam. Yes, just before exams. When I say just before exam, what I mean is that I studied just before exam for all the exams, be it class tests or internals or semester exams or be it the final exam. So whenever there was a test or exam, I would study. So before the test, I would study diligently, no cheating. I would do the work. On other days, I would just slack off and do my own thing. And of course, scrolling is a part of doing nothing, right? So this is what I exactly used to do. First, whenever there's a test, I would take up the textbook, read it, and mark the important points. You know, the textbook authors like yapping, they keep on saying things that are not needed. So you just need to mark the important points and leave the rest of the thing. Then I used to write down important points into a notebook, like in short forms and not long sentences, in a way that I can get the gist of the chapter in one glance. I will write down the important points in short forms in one page. So as you read the textbook, you will digest the concepts, and I would memorize some of the, pro-looking sentences. Like there may be sentences that look impressive, right? So I would memorize them. I would understand them, plus I would memorize them so that I can just throw up the same exact sentence onto the paper and that's a sheet. So these sentences include definitions, jargon. Jargons means subject-specific words or terms or interesting sentences, for example. For example, there was a ghost story in one of my English textbooks, and there was a line like, and there was a sentence that says, "A premonitory chill crept the back of my neck." Now, I like this sentence a lot. I memorized the sentence and I would use this in each of my stories. And if it's maths or physics or chemistry, and if you have formulas out there, then I would write it down multiple times to memorize it, because there's no other way to learn it. Basically, studying means just memorizing. Now, how you do it is all that matters. Now, when it comes to history or other subjects where you have to remember some numerical things, what you can do is try to relate to something that you already know. For example, I studied that 𝗩𝗒𝗓 came to Bhutan in 1616. So this is something I learned in Bhutan history. So this date went that deep in my head, so I'll never forget it. Next time I had to study some date, I will try to relate to it. So next time when I had to study about Rowlatt Act, which was in 1919, so I would relate to this. So that was in 1616, so this was in 1918. I just have to invert the 6. I'm able to easily remember it. So similarly, you have to try to relate things to something you already know, so that you never forget things. Now, whenever the text doesn't make any sense, shift to ChatGPT. Discuss the topic, cross-question it, ask whatever question you have in your mind. But when it comes to ChatGPT, you have no problem. It will give you the right answers on the spot because it's being trained on a large database. So now another thing that you can do is to make studying a fun activity. You can do different things, like you can try to read the textbook out loud. You can do a lot of things to make studying interesting, about which I'm gonna explain it in the later part of the video. Please do keep watching. So basically, this is what I do. Let's say I have an internal exam, 1 and 2. For internal exam, we have 2 chapters, so I'll study 2 chapters. Then internal exam 2, we would have another 2 chapters, I'll study those. And when it comes to the semester or final exam, we'll have 5 chapters. Now, I already know the concepts of 4 chapters. I will just have to learn the 5th chapter. So it becomes so easy for me to study again just before the exam. I don't have to spend so much time. Now, I already have notes of my own, which I can understand. So I don't need to read the textbook all over again. So I can just study it before exam. Another thing is, if you want to score high marks, you have to stay away from distractions. See, you cannot keep your phone away, because if you want to use ChatGPT or want to refer a YouTube video, then you have to have a phone, right? So the only thing you can do is to be focused and try not to be distracted. So whenever you see yourself distracted, just bring yourself back to the track, get focused, study. If you perform well in one exam, then there will be this expectation from you that you have to perform well in other exams too. Now, this can be a pressure for you, but at the same time, this can be good for you, because when you have a pressure from people, when you have expectations, you have a pressure from people, and you want to fulfill their expectations. You don't want to let them down, so you will work for it. So you will naturally work for it. Okay. So what you need is a sense of responsibility and not stress or worry. You just need to focus and study to achieve your goals, because at the end of the day, the marks you score is for you. If you score high marks, you do have a value. Maybe people say marks don't matter, skill matters, but marks are important, because suppose you want to apply for a job, then they will have a cut-off mark, for example 70%, and if it's a very big company, then they will keep cut-off mark to 90% or 80%, 80% or 90%. So you have to score high marks. As I said, just study before exams, like before all the exams and tests, and rest of the time, develop your skills. Be engaged in other activities, develop other skills, your communication skills, your presentation skills, communication skills, or coding skills, or any other skill that makes you stand out. Oh, I forgot to explain how to make studying a fun activity. You know, when you make studying a fun activity, you never feel dragged, okay? So, in this video here, I have explained the methods I've used to make studying a fun activity. And before you click off, please do give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. So, bye! See you in this video.